Across the West, a debate over public lands is growing more heated as states are demanding the release of millions of federal acres to state control.
Nowhere is the argument hotter than southern Nevada. BLM proposals to set aside millions of acres as wilderness have alarmed outdoor recreationists who say they're the ones really using the land.
Yeah, teams pursuing an ongoing look at public lands issues. George Knapp here with more on the story. George.
You have to ask, how much is too much when it comes to public lands? Residents of Nye County had a chance to sound off today about 4 different scenarios being considered by the BLM, which could limit access to millions of acres of public land, especially for those who go off-roading. Four-wheelers say a lot of the land in question would be all but inaccessible if the BLM imposes new restrictions.
Meet them at the county line. We all pack, we all carry. We got a big force here, a big force.
Tempers are running a little hot in Nye County, where the BLM is considering plans that could add more acres to the federal inventory in a county that's already 98% federal land. Ever since the Cliven Bundy standoff last spring, threats about citizens arming themselves to repel federal invaders are taken more seriously.
We will do whatever it takes to defend the sovereign state of Nevada from any federal intrusions. And we're not real happy right now with the latest developments. We look at this as a major land grab that's going to cripple the economy.
Most of those who've shown up for public meetings on the BLM proposals are not there to bear arms against the government. But many are frustrated because they don't believe BLM is listening.
Because they probably really don't care what we have to say. This just checks off a box saying that, hey, we reached out to the public.
Public comment wanted more motorized recreation use and more access to the public lands. Every plan we have here is restricted.
On a dirt trail just off Level Canyon Road, a caravan of 4-wheel drive vehicles snakes its way toward the high country. It's the RG 4-Wheelers Club, one of dozens of off-road groups in southern Nevada.
Everybody spends most of their time just sitting in front of a TV or playing on a video game. Me and my wife, we love to be outdoors.
If anybody gets hung up again, just give me a shout out so I can slow down.
Eddie Ortiz spends pretty much every weekend on public lands. He not only takes the road less traveled, he and his group go places that aren't roads at all, such as a boulder-infested creek bed that should be impossible to traverse, but isn't. The Jeeps have trouble here and there. Tires spit gravel, axles groan. But methodically, relentlessly, the convoy inches forward, like mechanized spiders crawling over a rock.
Keep going, your back tire's gonna go over it. Back it up.
For the most part, the 4-wheelers stay on the dirt trail. It is legal for them to use dry creek beds, even though there should be no way they're drivable. But that's the point for them. This is what the trip looks like from inside one of the vehicles. And this is the view if rocks had eyes. 4-wheelers know a lot of people, including hikers and other outdoor groups, see them as noisy intruders, or worse, scofflaws who tear up the wilderness or vandalize cultural resources.
That's a lot of the misconception. Believe it or not, if you look around at a group of us, when we go out, we try to leave the trail as cleaner than it was when we got onto it. We also organize in little groups as ourselves, go out, clean graffiti off of rocks. Again, we like to go out and help keep the trails open.
Off-roader groups say they're great stewards of the public lands and use them more than almost anyone. But over the past several years, they say, federal agencies have chipped away at what lands are open to them, closing roads and entire regions. And now BLM's pending land use plan could shut down vast areas of public lands, while proposals in Congress could close off even more.
We like to go out and enjoy what Nevada has to offer. If you keep closing up trails that have been open for many, many years that are designated trails, what it ends up doing is it puts a stranglehold on what we like to do to get out and see the countryside. Eventually it'll turn into something like California does, to where you can't even go off the road, period, without having the road being closed. And nobody's ever going to come up here, nobody's going to ever see what's going on.
The trail we took Saturday ends up on the backside of Red Rock Canyon, a view few people ever see. The group says it can't tell from BLM documents whether this trail would be closed to vehicles. BLM maps are at best generic. Outdoor recreation is a $15 billion a year industry in Nevada. Off-roaders spend fortunes on vehicles, tires, equipment, and they want policymakers to know they generate sales and taxes. Just ask them sometime what Jeep stands for.
Jeep, just empty every pocket.
Just empty every pocket. They love their Jeeps. One problem in evaluating BLM proposals is that the maps simply are not very specific and don't really spell out which trails might be closed under which scenario. Anyone who wants to comment on the BLM's land management plan has until Friday to do so. We have links on our website if you want your voice to be heard. Use the keyword rebellion. In addition to the BLM's proposed changes, there are bills in Congress which would add nearly 2 million acres of wilderness, including Gold Butte, which coincidentally, as we know, is home to the Bundy Ranch.
Yeah, so